You have heard it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, offer no resistance to the one who is evil. Brothers and sisters, in today's gospel passage, it could be sort of confusing or tough to listen to. Is Jesus really telling us to accept suffering without a response, or to just let others take advantage of us whenever we have been wronged? In fact, in the Old Testament, an eye for an eye actually meant to limit revenge, so that it ensured that justice wouldn't spiral into endless violence or retaliation. But in this passage, Jesus is actually calling us to somewhere higher, that we actually may love and respond with patience and peace, just the same way that he has loved us. When Jesus is saying to turn the other cheek, he is simply inviting us to not react out of anger. When we are in tough conversations with our parents, our siblings, our friends, our coworkers, how often do we struggle to respond with that same patience and peace that Jesus has taught to each and every one of us? When we are asked to go that extra mile and to give freely of ourselves, we know that Jesus is actually simply defining the true depths of discipleship, which is generosity in itself. We know that Jesus teaches that real discipleship, it means generosity and the giving of our own selves, even when we get nothing in return. So if we struggle with this passage and the words that Jesus is teaching us, I invite you to reflect on this scripture in the perspective of Jesus talking about us. He himself lived this teaching. He was beaten, he was mocked, and he was crucified for our own sins. And yet he still forgave each and every one of us. He could have called upon his Father to rain down punishment on each and every one of us. Yet he simply says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. If we struggle with this, let us reflect and use Jesus as our model in the ways that we approach our own brothers and sisters in our daily life. So I invite you in this Lenten journey to reflect on this question: how are we responding to the people around us, especially when we have been wronged in any way? Do we choose forgiveness, or are we choosing resentment? And let us continue to ask for his grace as we walk through this journey together, that we may enter into that same love that Christ has shown us and how he has loved us. Brothers and sisters, praise be to Jesus Christ, now, always, and forever.